Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Chosen. Today we're diving into something powerful. 7 signs that your spiritual awakening is over, and it's time to step into your true power. You were born with wings, so why live life crawling? That quote from Rumi says it all. If you've been walking the spiritual path, searching for signs, questioning your purpose, and doing deep inner work, this message is for you. Awakening isn't meant to last forever. There comes a point when seeking must turn into living. In this video, we'll explore 7 clear signs that your awakening is complete, and that now is the moment to rise into your mission. Are you ready to stop waiting and start becoming? Let us know in the comments which sign resonates with you the most. And if you're feeling called to step into your next chapter, don't forget to like and subscribe. 1. The awakening is over. Now the mission begins. You didn't awaken just to keep searching forever. That awakening you experienced? It wasn't the end. It was the beginning. A door opened, giving you a glimpse beyond illusions. Now the universe is asking you to step fully into your purpose. You've read the books, followed the signs, healed your pain, and removed the masks. Awakening is not your destination. It's your launch pad. Yet many chosen ones get stuck, clinging to the process like it's the goal. They keep searching for more signs, even though deep down they already know. But the universe doesn't keep repeating itself. It gives you a sign, a moment, a nudge, and this is yours. The illusions have faded, the fear no longer fits, and the need for validation has burned away. Now it's time for action. You've been entrusted with insight for a reason. The pain, the loneliness, the breakdowns, everything prepared you for this. The quiet inner knowing, that's your power. You're no longer just a seeker. You're a guide, a light, and a vessel for truth. Will you use what you've learned, or will you keep collecting knowledge like souvenirs never meant to be used? Your spiritual insight isn't passive, it's purposeful. You're not just here to feel enlightened. You're here to create, awaken others, and lead through action. There's no more waiting, no more permission needed. You've already walked through fire. You've seen who you are. And now the universe is watching, ready to respond the moment you take that bold step. Are you ready to rise into your true mission? If so, drop a comment saying, "I am ready to serve," to declare your commitment and inspire others too. 2. The urgency you're feeling is not anxiety, it's your calling. That restlessness you feel, it's not confusion. It's your soul recognizing that you're standing on the edge of transformation. It's not a warning, it's a sacred signal. Your awakening isn't just a phase anymore, it's your invitation to act. You've done the inner work, you've asked the questions, collected the wisdom, felt the heartbreaks, and had those quiet moments of clarity. But now the time for preparation is over. You're no longer being trained, you're being called. Many people stay stuck in the seeker phase because it feels safe, but the chosen ones know when it's time to move forward, not through force, but through alignment. You didn't come here just to feel awakened. You came to live as awakening in motion. That means speaking your truth, trusting your intuition, and being the peace, strength, and light that your journey revealed. Mastery doesn't come from perfection, it comes from presence. We often think we need more signs or more knowledge, but that's just another form of doubt. You don't need another guru or another meditation to prove you're ready. You're ready because you exist. You're ready because your heart is still beating and life is calling you now, not someday. Think of it like this. Someone who trains for years but never shows up for the race never fulfills their purpose. At some point, continuing to prepare becomes a way of hiding, but not you. You're not here to hide. You're here to rise, to lead, to become. The most powerful version of yourself isn't somewhere far away. It's the part of you that takes action today. This is the shift from knowing the light to being the light. From understanding love to living it. From talking about alignment to embodying it. And the hardest part? You've already done it. What's one thing you felt called to do lately, but keep putting off? Share it in the comments. Your answer might just inspire someone else. You've awakened. You've seen the truth. Now the only question left is, will you choose to live it? Your power was never in the knowledge you gathered. It's in how you live that knowledge. That's how lives are changed, how timelines shift, and how others are inspired by simply being around you. That's how you fulfill the mission your soul agreed to before you even got here. The urgency you feel isn't pressure, it's presence, it's divine timing. The universe isn't rushing you, it's reminding you that this is the moment you've been preparing for all your life. So don't hesitate. If you feel a pull towards something greater, it's because your time is now. No more waiting, no more hiding. If this speaks to you, comment below. I am ready to become who I truly am. 3. Awakening was never the destination. It was the fire that shaped you. Spiritual awakening isn't meant to be a place you stay forever. It's meant to shake you up, break down the false layers, and rebuild you from the inside out. It burns away fear, ego, and the need for outside validation. You weren't meant to live in the fire. You were meant to walk through it, carry its light, and rise from it. But many people get stuck in that process. They confuse the path with the destination. They keep reading, listening, and meditating, waiting for the perfect sign to confirm they're finally ready. But guess what? That sign is already within you. Constant seeking can become a distraction, something that feels like growth but is actually avoidance. There comes a point when you must stop only consuming and start creating. You didn't awaken just to sit still. You awakened to move energy, to shift realities, and to live your truth. All the knowledge, the pain, the healing, it wasn't the end goal. It was preparation. Your soul didn't come here to study wisdom forever. It came to embody it. Now is the time to become the message you've been listening to be the healing you've been chasing, to live the strength you've been searching for. You are the answer to someone else's prayer. You are the light in someone else's darkness. But the world can't receive what you keep hidden. Creation is your next step, whether it's through writing, speaking, leading, or simply being your full, honest self. This is how you move from awakening to embodiment, from knowing the truth to living it. Yes, fear will whisper that you're not ready, but readiness isn't a feeling, it's a choice. The ego wants perfection, but the soul moves with purpose. You are ready because you've been called. You are ready because you've already walked through fire. And most of all, you are ready because the world needs what you carry. No more hiding, no more shrinking, no more pretending to be the old version of you. The season of seeking is over. The season of becoming is here. If this message stirred something in you, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss insights like these. And comment below, I am ready to rise and build my true self. 4. You were chosen for a purpose. This was never a coincidence. You weren't randomly awakened. You were chosen with intention. This was your spiritual assignment, a call to remember who you really are beneath all the noise and conditioning of this world. You didn't wake up just to feel better. You woke up to become a force of transformation. The global spiritual shift isn't something you're meant to only watch. You're meant to help lead it. And this leadership doesn't come from ego or control. It comes from alignment, from embodiment, and from courage. You were called because your soul said yes, long before your mind knew what that meant. You were never meant to wait around for angels or guides to give you every answer. Yes, they support you, but they don't walk the path for you. That's your job. Only you can choose to rise. Chosen ones aren't selected to sit back. They're called to act, especially when it's uncomfortable. To speak the truth when the world wants silence. To stand in light when others choose the shadows. You're not here to wait for another sign. You are the sign. There comes a moment when learning must turn into doing, when understanding must become embodiment, and that moment is now. You've seen the signs. You've felt the pull. You've gone through the fire of transformation. Now the question isn't what is my purpose, but will I live it? The world is crying out for people who are spiritually awake and spiritually active, not perfect but present, willing to show up, willing to use their voice, their energy, their presence. You don't have to save the world, but you do have to show up for the piece of it that's been given to you. Living your purpose isn't about trying harder. It's about surrendering to the truth already inside you. When you stop waiting for the right time and start walking in divine time, the right doors open, the right people appear. Clarity follows your action. You were chosen because you were built for this. Your pain gave you empathy. Your isolation taught you discernment. Your challenges gave you resilience. You are not behind. You are right on time. No one else can activate your mission. No one else can speak your truth. This responsibility is sacred. You weren't chosen to stay hidden. You were chosen to embody the shift. Awakening was only the beginning. Now it's time to become who you came here to be. If this stirred something inside you, leave a comment of faith. I accept my divine purpose. I am ready to rise and fulfill my calling. So what's one gift or message you know you're meant to share with the world but haven't yet? Let us know in the comments. Your voice matters more than you think. 5. The mission after awakening. Real spiritual maturity isn't measured by how many affirmations you say or how long you meditate. It's about how you live. It's when your actions reflect your truth and your presence speaks louder than your words. You've already awakened. You've peeled away the layers. You've seen through illusions and walked through the darkness, guided only by your inner light. But now comes the true journey, living it. Living your truth, living with power, living like someone who remembers why they came to this world in the first place. You're not here to stay stuck in a loop of endless seeking. You're here to become the message, to hold the vibration of what you've learned so deeply that people can feel it before you even speak. Your power isn't in how much you know. It's in how fully you show up. It's in your calm when the world shakes. It's in your kindness when others are hurting. It's in your integrity when no one's watching. That is what it means to live your awakening. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman who spent years reading every spiritual book she could find, but then her life collapsed. Her marriage ended, her business failed, and her health declined. In that silence, when everything she knew felt useless, she heard one clear message. This is what the training was for. She stopped searching for new answers and started applying what she already had. She showed up not perfectly, but powerfully, with clarity, with presence, and everything began to change. She finally understood. She wasn't here just to understand the light. She was here to be the light. The world doesn't need more talkers. It's aching for people who embody their truth. People who don't just repeat spiritual phrases, but radiate them. People who walk into chaos and still carry peace. You were chosen for this, not to hide your light, but to lead with it. Not to wait for one more sign, but to trust what already lives within you. Every setback, every delay, every wound, it all prepared you, not just to survive, but to lead. The real initiation wasn't your awakening. It's what you do after it. This is your invitation to rise, not someday, but now, to speak with purpose, to love with depth, to lead with truth. Your journey didn't end with awakening. It began there, and everything coming next is what you were born for. If this message speaks to your soul, type in the comments, "I'm ready to live the truth." 6. The signs that your awakening is complete. Sign 1. You no longer feel separate from the universe. You've stopped searching for divinity out there because you've realized it was never outside of you. That longing to connect with something greater has turned into a deep knowing that you are part of that greatness. And this isn't just something you believe in your mind. It's something you feel in your breath, in your stillness, in the quiet space between thoughts. You feel connected to everything. The trees, the breeze, the laughter of strangers, even the silence between words. It's no longer a poetic idea. It's your lived experience. You've stopped labeling things as good or bad. You've seen the invisible thread that ties everything together. Peace is no longer something you chase. It flows from within you, quietly and naturally, like sunlight through an open window. You no longer fight life. You surrender, not from weakness but from wisdom. You've tasted the freedom that comes from letting go. The need to fix everything, to prove yourself, to control outcomes, it fades. You've awakened to a deeper intelligence that guides everything, including you. And this surrender, it creates space. Space for miracles, for alignment, for things to fall into place in ways you could never force. You've realized your energy isn't passive, it's creative. Every thought, every feeling, every intention is a frequency, and those frequencies shape your reality. You notice how your inner peace brings outer peace, how your fear stirs chaos. It's not punishment, it's reflection. The old version of you, the one who searched endlessly for answers, has melted into the quiet power of presence. You don't need constant spiritual highs, dramatic signs, or validation. Your presence is the sign. You are the miracle you used to pray for. There's no more wall between you and the universe, only unity, only flow, only truth. And from this sacred stillness, your purpose begins, not through effort or striving, but by simply being. That's when you know your awakening is complete. Not because you have all the answers, but because you've stopped asking questions that separate you from what already lives inside you. Sign 2. You trust your intuition without doubt. You no longer need endless signs, outside opinions, or long lists of pros and cons. You just know. The clarity doesn't come from your mind. It comes from alignment. You don't chase certainty anymore. You are certainty, not in outcomes, but in your inner knowing. That knowing doesn't shout. It doesn't fight for attention. It simply speaks, and you listen. You've outgrown fear as a decision maker. Confusion no longer clouds your path. You no longer search outside of yourself for answers. Because you finally understand, your energy speaks louder than words. Your body reacts before your mind finishes the question. You feel your way forward. Expansion guides you. Contraction warns you. You don't need to know every step. You just need to trust yourself. There's a moment in every chosen one's journey when the need for validation disappears. What replaces it isn't arrogance, it's alignment. What's one truth you felt deep inside but haven't yet lived fully? Drop it in the comments. Let's grow through this together. You trust your intuition without doubt. It's peace. A quiet peace that no longer asks for permission. A peace that flows through uncertainty like water, soft but strong, always finding its way. You stop chasing signs. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You take action not because it looks right, but because it feels right. That's the power of deep spiritual alignment. It doesn't beg for proof, it simply moves in truth. When you truly trust your intuition, you stop hesitating. There's a calm confidence in you, Others might not understand. They may say, "You've changed," and they're right. You no longer check 10 times before taking one step. You just move. And as you do, life starts rearranging itself to meet your energy. This isn't magic. This is spiritual maturity, the power to move without needing to be convinced, to know without needing to explain, to trust your alignment even when it doesn't make sense to others. You've graduated from waiting, from questioning, from doubting. Now your power lies in presence, and you follow, not because it's easy, but because it's true. Sign 3. Material desires no longer control. You've stopped chasing money, attention, and status. Something deep inside has shifted. You no longer need to impress others with what you wear, what you own, or how much you earn. Your soul has outgrown the need for outside approval. What once fed your ego now feels empty. You found nourishment in alignment, not attention. Sure, material things can still bring joy, but they don't define you anymore. They don't pull you into cycles of overworking, overcompensating, or pretending. You've remembered who you were before the world told you what to prove, and that's when true transformation happens. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. This is how manifestation truly works, not from desperation, but from vibration. Your energy is now your language, and it speaks louder than your words. You've chosen peace over pressure, purpose over possessions. The old you needed more just to feel enough, but now you are enough, with or without more. And because of that deep sense of wholeness, abundance flows to you naturally. You've discovered that real wealth isn't about what you have, it's about how deeply you're aligned. No luxury can compare to the richness of inner peace. No praise can replace the still, steady voice within you saying, "I am home." You now understand, manifestation isn't about owning everything, it's about owning your truth. Your energy is your currency, and when you spend it on what's real, gratitude, love, purpose, the universe multiplies your return. You're no longer a servant to desire. You are the master of your reality. Your awakening has taught you to see through illusions. You walk with power now, not a loud, forceful power, but a magnetic one, grounded in clarity and detachment. The more you surrender, the more you receive, not through force but through flow, not from lack but from alignment, not from noise but from stillness. Sign 4. You've embraced solitude and found peace. Silence used to feel uncomfortable, maybe even lonely, but now it feels sacred. It no longer unsettles you, it empowers you. What once felt like an empty space is now a sanctuary where your spirit breathes and your mind can rest. You've stopped fearing the quiet. You've started listening to what it reveals. In that silence, you don't hear fear anymore. Stillness has become your teacher, your healer, your safe place. It's where you recharge, reconnect, and remember who you really are. You now protect your energy deeply. Anything that doesn't align simply fades away. You no longer tolerate conversations that feel empty or relationships that drain you. You don't shrink to fit into places you've outgrown. You don't pretend to be less so that others feel more. That is spiritual awakening in motion. It's the quiet refusal to entertain what no longer nourishes your soul. It's the silent, powerful decision to walk away from noise, not with bitterness, but with wisdom. Being alone doesn't feel like abandonment anymore. It feels like home. You've stopped chasing connection for the sake of being connected. Instead, you've cultivated the most powerful connection of all, the one with yourself. You enjoy your own presence. You understand that solitude isn't emptiness. It's sacred space. In your stillness, new visions are born. In your solitude, your purpose grows louder. You now recognize every word, every moment, every interaction carries energy, and you choose wisely what enters your sacred space. Your boundaries are no longer walls. They are acts of love for the peace you've worked so hard to find. What have you let go of in your journey? Material desires, outside approval, constant noise that has brought you closer to your truth. Comment below. Your insight may inspire someone else's breakthrough. Your boundaries are no longer walls. They're invitations, open only to what is pure, true, and aligned. Your aura is no longer porous. It is powerful. You've stopped chasing. You've started attracting, because now you understand the law of attraction not as a tool of control, but as a mirror, a reflection of energetic alignment. You don't manifest from desperation anymore. You manifest from peace, from clarity, from presence. Your life has become a living prayer, and your solitude has become the altar. In that sacred stillness, manifestation flows like breath. There is no force, Only flow. This is spiritual maturity. You are no longer searching for peace. You are living as peace. Sign 5. You naturally attract those who need your light. People are drawn to you now, not because you try, but because you simply are. Your energy has become a silent call. You no longer seek validation or attention. Your presence speaks on its own. It radiates something real, something pure, something that cannot be faked. After everything you've been through, the shedding, the healing, the inner battles, you now carry a frequency that speaks louder than any voice. People may not know why they feel safe around you, why they suddenly open up their deepest truths in your presence, but they feel something that feels like home, like truth, like light. That's because you've become a vessel for something greater, and in a world where most are still asleep, that makes you magnetic. But here's what you begin to notice. The people entering your life are no longer random. They are reflections, mirrors and messengers. Some walk beside you because their soul resonates with your path. Others arrive with chaos in their hearts, drawn to your peace, hoping to receive what they haven't yet earned. That's what happens when your spiritual awakening is complete. You stop needing answers. You become one. You attract, not because you're trying, but because you are aligned. But not everyone drawn to your light is ready to honor it. Some come to take, to drain, to feed off the peace you built with blood, sweat, and sacred tears. These are the ones who haven't faced themselves yet. They want your frequency without doing the work to raise their own. This is why you must now master spiritual boundaries. You cannot pour into everyone. Yes, your light is powerful, but it is also sacred, and sacred things must be protected. You must learn to say no, to walk away without guilt. There was once a woman who gave all of herself to friends, clients, and to strangers. Her energy felt like medicine to others, and they came to her uninvited, desperate for light. At first, she believed this was her purpose, to be the light for others. But over time, she felt drained, disconnected, even resentful. That's when she realized being the light does not mean setting yourself on fire to keep others warm. She learned to protect her energy, to only give from overflow, not obligation. And when she did, her light didn't fade. It grew stronger. You've reached that point too. You're not here to save everyone. You're here to be the frequency that reminds others of their own. Your energy is now a transmission, a signal for those ready to rise. Your presence is no longer just a gift. It is an invitation. Sign 6. You see through illusions and deception. You now sense deception with a kind of spiritual clarity that wasn't available to you before. Lies feel heavy in the air. Manipulation stands out like flashing lights. Even the subtle illusions hidden in systems, media, and social norms no longer hold power over your mind. You don't just see the surface. You see through it. What once confused or controlled you has lost its grip. Why? Because your inner truth has grown louder than the world's noise. You are no longer ruled by fear-based control systems. Yes, fear still exists around you, but it no longer lives in you. You don't react to headlines. You don't bend to manipulation or energetic pressure to conform. Now your compass is clarity, not panic. Your guide is intuition, not anxiety. You make decisions differently now. You're not influenced by peer pressure, social media, or outdated programming. You pause, you feel, you listen, and when something feels off, even if others call it normal, you walk away, without guilt, without needing to explain, because now you understand that your peace is sacred. Seeing through illusion also means seeing through fear itself. You've realized most fear is an illusion, a fog designed to distract you from your power. But you've walked through that fog, and on the other side, you found clarity, you found freedom, you find safety in presence, in energy, in knowing who you are. And perhaps the most powerful shift of all is this. You no longer believe that the world outside of you has more authority than the truth within you. That changes everything. So who have you outgrown as your light expanded? What boundaries have you had to set to protect your energy? Comment below. Your journey might unlock someone else's freedom. Sign 7. You are the embodiment of awakening. The illusions have fallen away, and what remains is your power, your vision, your voice. And now you use that power. You speak even when it's uncomfortable. You stand tall, even when the world tries to make you small. You live from the soul, not the script. This is what happens when awakening ends. It transforms into embodiment. You don't just talk about light anymore. You've become the light. And that light naturally exposes everything false. Not to shame others, but to awaken them too. Because when even one chosen soul sees through illusion, the energy ripples. When even one person stops fearing fear, the atmosphere shifts. When you choose truth over comfort, you show others what's possible. You didn't come here to be passive. You came here to break patterns, to radiate higher frequencies, to manifest a reality rooted in love, sovereignty, and spiritual wisdom. You came here to see through the dark and still choose the light. And now you are doing exactly that. You feel a call to step fully into your mission. You don't just think about your purpose anymore. You feel it vibrating in your bones. It's no longer a question. It's a living truth, one that wakes with you in the morning and follows you into the night. This pull doesn't come from logic. It comes from the divine. It isn't convenient. It's urgent. It's unmistakable. You're not waiting for signs anymore, because the feeling itself is the sign. There's a restlessness in your spirit, not from lack, but from fullness. You've learned, you've healed, you've awakened, and now that wisdom wants to become action. You weren't built to stay still. There's a fire inside you now that will not be tamed by passivity. You've stopped asking for permission. You've started walking with intention. You don't need external proof anymore. You are the confirmation. Even in uncertainty, you are grounded in trust, and that trust is your foundation. That fire is your compass. You understand now. Being chosen was never about being perfect. It's about being willing to show up, willing to be seen, willing to take the next faithful step, even when the way isn't clear. You weren't meant to awaken just to stay awake. You were meant to awaken so you could rise, lead, heal, and create. The time is no longer someday. The time is now. Your awakening was just the beginning. Take a moment to honor how far you've come. Your presence here shows you're not just awakening, you're evolving. Comment below, "My awakening is complete, and I am ready to live in truth." Let that be your soul's affirmation. Your awakening was never the end. It was the beginning of your true purpose. Now is the time to embody everything you've learned and use your gifts with confidence, because the world needs your light more than ever. If this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone whose soul is stirring, and subscribe to Beyond the Body for more powerful insights. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment on this sacred journey. Your time is now. Step forward, shine boldly, lead with truth,